Hey, good morning, or good afternoon, or good night, or whatever Truman on the Truman Show says. Well, today I wanted to talk a little bit about expectancy. You know, we expect a lot of things. Expect is such a deep word. I'd like to do a little more research on what it actually means, where it comes from. Well, I think I'm going to hit the nail right on the head as fast as possible here. So, in a way, I think that there are some blessings and opportunities that God wants us to be expectant for before we receive them. That's just something I've been thinking about recently, because I see different denominations, different sects of Christianity, different people, viewpoints where sometimes people are like, I'm not going to get anything good until heaven, which heaven is a long time. This is just a blink of an eye. Really, what's it matter? But on the flip side of that, there is the extreme cases of, well, it's all good and no bad. That's all God's going to give me. Now, we do look in His Word, and He says He uses all things for good, essentially, for those who are loving Him and obeying His Word. And we see instances of that in the book of Job. I was reading the book of Job yesterday. It's not a job, it's Job. And that's one I really don't understand too much. And I think sometimes it trips up other people, because you have this man, Satan, and God, and Satan's only one person. He can only affect one thing at a time with himself directly, which is worth remembering. But Satan was questioning God and said, won't this man Job, won't he turn you down basically whenever there's bad things happen, because all you've done to him, God, was give him good things? And God was like, no, he won't. And God allowed Satan to tempt Job, but Job didn't sin. He acted uprightly and just. But I think that's where a lot of people don't quite understand. I know that's where I kind of understand. That's kind of that's the struggle for me a little bit, as we got this man who, according to the words of the Bible, is walking uprightly. A good and upright man. It calls him a blameless man in some translations. Not as in completely sinless, but meaning all put together. That's what the original translation means, more or less. So he's really got it all put together. He is kind of your model citizen. In fact, he was a very well-known, well-loved citizen in there in that time. But the struggle for me, and I think a lot of people, is he hasn't done anything. Nothing crazy anyway. Why would God allow the devil to tempt him? And the devil also took his family, took his health at times. All these really intense things, up to a point where his wife, who was supposed to be on his side, was going, basically, you idiot, just curse God and die. And he was like, woman, you're speaking like a foolish woman. And I could sense the conflict between the two just in reading it. But at the end of the book, God restored way, way more than He allowed the devil to destroy. I think I want to say tenfold. I don't know that number off the top of my head. I didn't read that far yesterday. I only read the first half. But God restores. He's just restoring. He is a restoring God. That's kind of His mission, I think that story deviates a little bit from the topic here of expectancy, but I think it puts it into light what it is that God has done before in the way He works and what He does. Here's another example of expectancy. So there's always the analogy or the comparison, I don't know what it's called, of the father, the child, you've got this parental figure and this child, where we are the child, He is the father. But in that example, now I don't have kids, so this is coming from a slightly different viewpoint, but aside from the things that would hurt a kid, aside from the things that would ruin their character or that I know that they wouldn't want, and besides money is always a factor. As a father, if I was a father, I would desire to give my kid anything that they wanted. That would be my desire. Now, I would not give them everything they wanted, because that's a terrible idea. They're kids, they don't know, they can't think past the next day sometimes. But that would be my desire. So like if the kid's like, I want a box of matches, and he's 3, he's not getting a box of matches because he's gonna hurt himself. But if he's 3 and he's like, Dad, I want this teddy bear, and it's like $1.95. That's such a simple thing for me. Now, somebody out there is going to say, hey, well, you can't give him everything you want, then he's going to be a spoiled brat. And that's kind of true, but that's a whole different topic for a whole different video, because I don't think that is the case. I think there can be exceptions. The point is, though, as a father or a mother, a parent, I think your natural desires are to make your child happy. You want to see them happy. You don't want to see them sad, mad, angry, like, at least I hope not. But if there's two children and one of them wants the toy way, way, way more than the other one has just like, yeah, it's all right, I don't want it that much, then who would you be more likely to give the kid the toy to? The kid that really wants it, or the kid that doesn't want it? Now, God's an eternal God. He's an infinite God. He has cattle on 1,000 hills and can supply our every need. He has access to everything in the entire universe. Metaphorically speaking, there are more toys in the entire universe than can go around. He could give everyone everything, but how much more likely is he to give to someone who is expectant for the blessings of God, for the anointment of God? You fill out any good thing from God, and I think we just need to be more expectant. I say we because I also myself need to be more expectant. That doesn't mean super needy. That doesn't mean in a spoiled way, but that's an understanding of who God is, the good that He does through everything, and the fact that we're just relying on Him for all of our basic needs, and also all of our deluxe needs, if that's what you want to call it, and even our wants. If we just have a relationship with God, that becomes our relationship with God. It deepens, it grows. You understand more about Him and His character and the way that He works. He gets to spend more time with you, which He loves. But I think a lot of this comes from expectancy. I'm not going to go into the doing part after expectancy, because I don't know that you can just idly wait around. I don't think that's what we're called to do. But at least on the provision side, your relationship to God, which is what matters ultimately, I think we just got to be more expectant. Okay, well, that's a whole lot longer than I thought it would be. Try that this week. Go read Job. Go see what's in that book. It's an old book. A lot of crazy things in there. Leviathans and river monsters and you name it. That guy had a ton of donkeys. You know that? Okay. Well, thank you for watching. I'm praying for you guys, even though I do not know you. I hope this was helpful in some way or another, and if it's not, maybe the next one will be. All right, ready, break.